everyone, I'm back with another vlog after a very long time, and the reason I'm doing a voiceover this time is that while I was editing, I realized that I actually didn't talk very much, so I figured if I do a voiceover, I can actually explain what I'm doing in Singapore. Solo trip, I guess? Let's go. So the confusion kind of centers around that I was supposed to go to Singapore with a friend, but some things happened. Their health didn't do so well, so I ended up getting on the plane by myself. And this is what kind of unfolded on the trip. Pretty. So the friend that I was supposed to go with originally had a family friend in Singapore, and they were still very kind and still hosted me even though my friend wasn't there. So thanks to them, I still had someone to kind of bring me around the first day, and I was able to go out with them and their friends. Just a heads up for anyone going to Singapore in the future, nightlife and drinking in Singapore is not cheap, so just be prepared. The next day I went to meet up with my friend's friend who also happened to be in Singapore at that time, and she was super sweet. I had a great time getting to know her. On this day we mostly walked around a few malls that were close together, and I decided to also try some random street eats like this ice cream on rainbow bread. After some walking around, I had to go to the most iconic part of Singapore, and if you haven't guessed it already, it is the Marina Bay Sands. Another famous landmark is the Merlion. As you can see, there's so many people there. Something that stood out to me was all the different kinds of architecture that was in Singapore, because it is a country that has been occupied by many different places. If you don't mind the heat, a lot of places in Singapore is walkable distance, so I decided to walk from where I was to the National Gallery of Singapore because I was meeting my family friends for dinner that night. I had never tried Peranakan food before, so Uncle and Auntie decided to bring me here. Oh my god, it's so leggy. Yo, I'm taking a video too. At the hotel. So this is the first day where I am out on my own, and I found a nice little cafe to relax in. I was staying near Chinatown and was lucky enough to find some really nice people to hang out with that evening. Today I'm headed to the Art Science Museum. It's a lot faster. The Art Science Museum had a lot of really fun activities, and I really recommend it for really anybody of any age. You also walk out to this really beautiful skyline view, and you're also really close to this really nice Apple store that's on the water, so do check it out if you're in that area. And of course, in Singapore, I had to try the Hainanese chicken rice. Probably one of the coolest parts was that I actually got to meet up with one of my friends back home from Vancouver. We went paddleboarding in Sentosa, and it was basically our first chance in 5 years to catch up, which was really exciting. He also somehow convinced me to join him and his friends to go to Universal in Sentosa, so that's what I did for the day. So in return, I convinced him to go on his first roller coaster in probably 10 years. How was it, Henry?
It was actually pretty interesting.
Your first roller coaster in like a decade, probably.
Probably more. Probably way more.
Good.
If you spotted our mini hand fans, those are probably the things that were keeping us alive in that 35+ degree weather. Also, be sure to bring a water bottle with you because it is very hot, so you need to stay hydrated. But nonetheless, it was so fun to spend the day at Universal with my friends, and I got to meet his friends as well. After that, we headed to the Clarke area to find some dinner, and we stumbled upon a live band.
Cheers. Boom.
Thank you very much. Your request, Bruno Mars.
I was so looking forward to trying out hawker stalls in Singapore, and I finally have enough friends to go try a bunch of food. So here we go.
Go for it. No, it's okay. The action shot. Don't make a mess of it. How is it? Good?
The food was amazing, but the one thing about hawker stalls is that there is no air conditioning. So in order to cool down, we thought we needed to go somewhere indoor. The National Art Gallery is the perfect place, and there are so many exhibitions you can easily spend 2 to 3 hours there.
I got my Hong Kong milk tea!
Last night in Singapore calls for ego.
What a wild time it has been in Singapore. Solo trip, suddenly, but I think I've made the most of my time here, and I am very, very, very grateful for this vacation and all the people that I've spent time with. So yeah, tomorrow is the last day in Singapore. It's my last night here. My flight is at like 1 a.m. tomorrow. I'll catch y'all tomorrow morning when I have to go get my COVID test before going back to Korea.
The last day of Singapore is here, and honestly, I'm just kind of eating my way through it. In the breakfast time, I had kaya toast, which is really famous there. I also got a pedicure and went to get roasted duck for lunch. Then I was off to the airport. The Changi airport is known for its beautiful waterfall that is literally falling from the sky, and of course I took a million videos of it, as everyone did. There are a number of activities you can do at the airport. People are walking on canopies, you can go shopping. Of course, eating is a very important part as well.
Finally got myself some quay, but it's like fancy quay. Still tastes good. Delicious.
I even decided to catch a movie before going through the gates.
Nobody's here yet.
The sun had set by the time I finished my movie, and now the inside of Changi Airport looks completely different and lit up. Now it's time to go past the gate. Pro tip, if you can, try to delay it as much as possible because past the security gate, there's really not much going on in there.
That's a wrap on Singapore. It was quite the wild ride. I don't even know if this will be a cohesive vlog or anything, but we'll see. I was kind of sporadic with how I was documenting it. But yeah, but I'm catching like a red-eye flight in about an hour and a half back to Seoul, so I'll get back in the morning. Alright, I'm just gonna sit and chill until I get on the flight. Just wanted to say thanks for coming along.
The song has been turned off. Thank you.